All right, y'all, so we just checked out what was down in the sewer. Now from the sewer, we go to what's inside of whales and possibly some other animals, all right? This video is titled, They Opened a Whale and You Won't Believe What They Found Inside, all right? And shout outs to all the veterinarians and different things like that, man. Y'all, the good ones, because there's some bad ones out there. Trust me, I know, and I'll tell y'all that story later. But the good ones, man, we appreciate y'all for everything that you do, all right? So let's check this video out, man. If you're new, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, join the fam. Here we go.
Animals eat stuff, but not just food. No. Sometimes they eat stuff that they just shouldn't. And these are some of the oddest. These are the 20 weirdest things ever found inside animals. Number 20. Yemeni fishermen find 1.1 million pounds of vomit gold in sperm whale carcass.
Whoa. What is vomit gold? What is vomit gold? Did these Jews just get rich off of fish?
A group of fishermen have lifted themselves out of poverty after finding a treasure inside the carcass of a sperm whale. They opened a whale, and you won't believe what they found inside. The 1.5 million pounds of ambergris discovered is like a solid whale vomit that's used in the making of perfumes. The group of 35 fishermen in the southern province of Aden spotted a sperm whale carcass floating in the Gulf of Aden before dragging it to shore in a small boat. As soon as they got close to it, there was a strong smell, and they even thought that this whale had a very nasty disease. The smell was terrible and nauseating, but as it turns out, it's worth a lot of money. Ambergris, known as vomit gold or floating gold, forms within the intestines of sperm whales over many years and is a gray or black waxy substance.
Talk about being lucky, bro. You smelling this foul odor coming from a whale that you're trying to move, and it just so happened to be worth millions. That type of luck I need in my life too, man. I need that type of luck, bro. What are the odds?
It's used in luxury perfumes to preserve the scent. The fishermen agreed to split the profits from the 127-kilogram lump of ambergris before selling it. They all had plans to buy houses or to get married now that they're out of poverty. Some of the money was also given to other people in need in Al-Qaisa village, home to war refugees from the city of Hodeida. Like this video, smash the subscribe button and click.
I might reconsider that whole, me not going out in the ocean fishing type thing. I might reconsider now.
The notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Number 19. Scientists just discovered a new species of ant in frog vomit. No, this isn't a teaser for the next Alien movie. It's actually a newly discovered ant. Every year, experts locate thousands of new animals and plants in the most remote places on the planet. Places as hidden and dark as the stomach of a poisonous frog.
And the frog just sitting here like he had a buffet, bro. I can just sit here and eat all day.
Although it may seem incredible, this has been the place where a new species of ant has been discovered, the stomach of an Oophega sylvatica frog, known in South America as Kiki or Diablito, which means little devil. To be more precise, the discovery did not occur in the devil's stomach, but in the stomach fluids carefully extracted by scientists without killing the frog to better understand the life and customs of this tropical amphibian. One of the most obvious features is its forceps-shaped jaws, which suggests that it's an ant with considerable strength. But at the moment, no further details have been possible because they've only been able to obtain and analyze one specimen of this new species. The ant was scientifically baptized with the surname of the well-known German biologist Bert Holdobler. The intervened frog in which the new ant was found, classified with the scientific name Lenomyrmex holdobleri, lives in a mountainous area of northwestern Ecuador. Number 17. Puppy saved after swallowing toy arrow a foot long. This adorable 12-week-old puppy found herself in need of life-saving surgery after she swallowed a toy arrow that was almost as long as her own body. Lola, a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, had her owners worried sick. At first, they thought she had gulped down a pen, but later, to their terror, realized it was a 12-inch projectile toy. Luke Ponter, Lola's dad, noticed that she was choking after he had given her breakfast. He thought nothing of it and took the kids to school, but when he came back, he saw that his puppy was in very bad shape and couldn't breathe. he had to act immediately. The vets at the animal hospital had to remove the arrow, which was very tricky business as it had lodged in her stomach and gastrointestinal tract. Veterinary nurse Jane Lewis said that they had never seen such a large foreign body inside an animal before. The surgery was hard and required a lot of skill and delicacy from the surgeons, but it was an absolute success in the end. Lula is now recovering like a champ, and she's been prescribed lots of rest and lots of cuddles.
See? Shout outs to the good, and I stress on good veterinarians out there, man. We appreciate y'all. I know this dude does.
Dad wouldn't have reacted so quickly. She wouldn't have survived. Number 16. 5,000-year-old arrowhead found in 750-pound alligator stomach.
What?
Priceless historic.
Who going to get that? Who going to get that? No.
Objects have been found in the stomach of a 13-foot, 5-inch long alligator hunted in Mississippi in the United States. After capturing the huge reptile weighing more than 750 pounds, Hunter John Hamilton took it to Shane's Red Antler processing plant in Yazoo City to have it dissected. But they had no idea what was hiding inside the predator's stomach. An arrowhead was found and a plummet, which is a heavy, teardrop-shaped instrument that historians say were used by Native Americans thousands of years ago. Shane Smith, the owner of the plant, speculated at first that the reptile may have eaten an arrow that someone had shot at it, but then he thought it was probably something that was lying around and that the gator ate it in an attempt to aid his digestion. These animals sometimes swallow stones to break up the hardest pieces of the bones that they ingest. The arrowhead is estimated to have belonged to a primitive weapon probably 5,000 to 6,000 years old, while the plumb line dates back to around 1700 BC. This is a once-in-a-lifetime find, that's for sure. This gator was walking around with history inside his belly and didn't even know about it. Number 15. This Mako shark had a sea lion's head in its stomach. What would you say that one of the world's record-breaking largest Mako sharks eat? Well, a whole sea lion, apparently. From the coast of California, we give you a 1,323-pound giant. This extraordinarily huge Mako shark was caught by 3 fishermen in June 2013 as part of a TV reality show. The catch was legal, but quite controversial amongst viewers. And as it turned out, the specimen had some potential scientific benefit. So much so that the predator's gigantic stomach was transferred to a research station run by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in San Diego to study its contents. This curious animal had the entire scientific community on the edge of their seats for quite some time. Digging through the partially digested remains of its meals, gross, I know, gave the marine biologists a pretty clear insight into the inner workings of the ocean food webs. And honestly, it's also pretty cool as well. But watching biologists and...
Dirty job, but it was a good way for us to figure out, you know what I mean, the different things about this particular animal and what he eats and or what he's willing to eat. You know, some of them don't care, bro. They'll just eat anything. Like snakes, they'll eat anything.
Antonella Preddy digging through the shark's lunch while eating her own is something out of the ordinary, that's for sure. Sea lions are often attacked by Mako sharks, and some even survive. Not this poor devil, though. The wounds of the digested sea lion will provide important information about the shark bite effect. Number 14. Fisherman surprised to find a hefty orange vibrator in the belly of a cod he was gutting. Norwegian fisherman Bjorn Frilund doesn't believe his curious find, but he seems sort of delighted by it. Bjorn, 64, was fishing like every day on the west coast of Norway. However, that day was not gonna be just any day, since he caught a cod that kept a 16-centimeter rubber vibrator in motion inside it. Yeah, you heard that right. The sex toy's batteries were still working in the fish's stomach. Imagine how funky this poor cod must have felt shaking all over the ocean. The fisherman
Shake my head at y'all, ladies.
And pointed out to the local press that the cod probably confused the vibrator with a squid and therefore swallowed it. He also points to the cruise ships that border Norway as the main parties responsible for this hilarious situation. His unusual discovery is impossible to be repeated, he claims. He thinks there's a better chance of a meteorite falling on someone's head than something like this ever happening again. But the question begs to be asked, what were the passengers of the cruise doing for a vibrator to fall overboard? They were either having the time of their lives, or the complete opposite. Nothing in between. Number 13. Giant catfish trying to eat a turtle.
What?
The catfish is one of the most well-known fish in the world. It stands out for its protruding whiskers similar to those of a cat, hence the name. They are found in large quantities both in the sea and in rivers. These fish have a very peculiar way of communicating with each other. They produce very strange sounds called stridulation. In aquariums, it's used to clean the bottoms since they eat everything they can get, and in this case, a whole turtle. Catfish are legendary. Even dachshunds are said to have been devoured by this gigantic predatory creature. In this case, an American red-eared turtle has become the undoing of a massive catfish. A group of paddlers found the curious
Catfish are strong too, bro.
scene while they were visiting the Göttingen Kiesee. They noticed the predatory fish floating on the bank area, but somehow still alive. As they approached the animal to see what was going on, they realized that the turtle's rear and legs were still protruding from its mouth. The prey and the hunter had started a grim dance of eternal battle. They had already both won and lost simultaneously. The sad part is, without human intervention, they would have both died. So the paddlers went to work immediately and managed to save both. Number 12. Python swallows entire beach towel. You've surely
See what I mean? And I remember this story too. But see what I mean? Snakes eat anything, bro. A beach towel? Anything.
heard of a magician pulling an infinite amount of silk from their sleeve. It's an iconic trick called the Kleenex effect. But have you ever seen a python do it? Well, stick around and you will. This poor devil had swallowed an entire beach towel. The veterinarians in Australia were baffled to see how this unfortunate snake made its clumsy debut in the magic world. It almost killed her. The patient, called Monty Python, is an 18-year-old female pet carpet python, and she had her owners worried sick after they realized she couldn't breathe. They took her to the animal hospital where they gave her some anesthetic to be able to use a radiograph to confirm the full-size towel was still inside her body. Then, they skillfully put an endoscope camera down Monty's throat and used forceps to delicately and carefully grab the tip of the towel and pull it out. The procedure was an absolute success. Monty was even discharged the very same day. The hospital staff called the episode Monty Python and the Missing Beach Towel in reference to the comedic movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Number 10. Dog breaks into bedroom drawer and steals dentures.
What?
This confused dog owner was left in stitches after she discovered that her mischievous yet adorable little puppy was wearing false teeth. The hilarious pooch is called Milo the Jackapoo, and he was caught on camera with a very goofy grin courtesy of his human grandmother's dentures after somehow breaking into her bed.
I'm sorry, bro. That's the funniest thing I've seen in a minute, bro.
Room drawer.
Yo.
The 8-month-old puppy certainly looks very pleased with himself, while his owner, Stacey Owen from Wales, can hardly hold the phone up due to her uncontrollable laughter. The scruffy mutt refused to give the dentures back, as he probably thinks they look very trendy and fashionable. Stacey claims that Milo had recently learned how to open drawers and was causing total mayhem.
Yo, that dog is a legend. Legend, you hear me? That dog is a legend.
At the Owen household. This particular day, Milo went quiet, which for a puppy, that's not really common, and she wondered what he was up to, only to discover the hilarious scene. Well, I think Grandma needs a new set of...
Now, you know that dog, dogs are smart, bro, so that dog probably seen that person put the teeth in over and over, and was like, okay, one day I'm gonna do it.
false teeth, because Milo is clearly claiming ownership of this one. I can only imagine what he'll do next. What an eccentric little pooch.
Wow.
Number 9. Ancient spears found in fish. Do you believe in mermaids? Well, after watching this video, you may become a believer. Trust me. Throughout history, people have been finding strange things inside fish and sharks, sometimes fragments of the bizarre skeleton of a half-human, half-aquatic creature, and sometimes ancient spears that look nothing like the ones we use on dry land. These mysterious items could only have been manufactured by a humanoid creature that has opposable thumbs and high intelligence, and as far as we know, such a creature doesn't exist in the depths of the ocean. Or does it? Mermaid sightings have been going on for as long as man took to the sea, but now we've also found weapons weapons they used to catch fish. These ancient spearheads are very sophisticated and seem to have been made out of bone matter. They were found on a shark's side, so maybe the ocean people use them also for self-defense. Hans Bauer, the fisherman that found them, claims that this is not a rare occurrence. They always fish out sharks with spears on their sides in the Baltic Sea. He once also saw a strange creature climbing out of the fishing net and pulling it in. He managed to take a picture of the creature, and it clearly looks like a human with a fish tail. Bauer is convinced that this is the creature responsible for making the spears. What's hiding under there, and why are they hiding from us? Number 8. Dog has 5 balls removed from stomach after swallowing them on walks. If you've ever owned a dog, you know that you always need to keep a close eye on them because they will literally eat anything and everything they find. And sometimes, when you get distracted for a fraction of a second, it might be too late. That's what happened to the owner of this adorable Springer Spaniel Labrador mix pup. After her concerned owner noticed that she was acting rather lethargic and he was rapidly losing weight over a few months, she thought that the pooch was having nothing more than an adverse reaction to his food. So she changed the food brand, but nothing happened. At this point, everyone started to worry quite a bit, and even panic. When they finally took the doggo to the vet, the x-rays showed that the misbehaving little fluff ball had been eating not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 5 golf balls during his daily morning walks. It's no wonder he wasn't feeling great, and why he wasn't eating that much. Imagine having 5 golf balls moving around in your stomach. His owner, Rebecca Miles, learned a valuable lesson. Dogs will eat anything and then get sick. And you can bet that if you often take your pooch around the golf course, he's gonna eat every single ball he finds. Number 7. Crocodile mummy found packed with dozens of smaller crocodile mummies.
What?
No, I swear, this is not the premise of a new summer horror story. This actually happened in real life, which doesn't make it any less terrifying. A 3D scan of the mummy of an Egyptian crocodile over 2,500 years old has revealed the existence of at least 47 mummified offspring inside the animal's body. The main crocodile, nearly 10 feet long, has been in the National Museum of Antiquities in Leiden in the Netherlands since 1928, when it was discovered by Egyptologists in the Al Faim Desert south of Cairo, a region known for its cult to the crocodile. The mummy was part of the museum's Egyptian exhibition and had already been subjected to multiple previous tests. Now, an advanced 3-dimensional scanner from the company Interspectral has shown that, in addition, the babies were individually mummified before being introduced into the larger crocodile, also mummified. Mama Crocodile was mummified with pieces of wood, flax, plant stems, and rope, according to Leiden Museum researcher Laura Weiss. An X-ray scan in the 1990s showed that 2 smaller specimens were inside the main crocodile. At that time, it was thought that they were 2 children of the mother crocodile. In the tests that have been done previously, the presence of 50 babies could not be clearly distinguished. They simply seemed like 2 large lumps. Number 6. Shark arm case. In Australia, at Sydney's Coogee Aquarium and Swimming Bath, a tiger shark made headlines in 1935 when it reportedly regurgitated a human left arm amid a watching crowd. Days before the event, Bert Hobson, brother of Charles, the owner of the aquarium, was out fishing 3 kilometers from Coogee Beach in Sydney when he accidentally caught a tiger shark. Hobson took the 14-foot animal to the aquarium. A week later, on April 25, 1935, Bert Hobson announced the tiger shark's grand appearance to an aquarium full of people excited to witness the event. After a few minutes, and in the middle of the show, the shark began to make sudden movements, launching itself against the glass of the tank and swimming in circles faster and faster. Suddenly, in the midst of a dense foam that visitors described as reddish and black, the shark vomited a bird and presumably a human left arm, which couldn't be identified until the foam dispersed in the water. The arm had a particular tattoo of 2 boxers in a ring and a rope tied to the wrist. However, it was free from shark bite marks. The aquarium was immediately evacuated and closed indefinitely while an investigation was carried out. A few days after the photo of the tattoo was made public, police reportedly received a call from James Smith's brother, a boxing bookie, thief, and police informant who had been missing for several weeks, and the owner of the arm that was inside the shark. Number 4. 1883 Herald found inside sunfish. A group of researchers at the London Natural History Museum were busy restoring a 3-meter-long sunfish when they discovered something that nobody was expecting. It was a Sydney Morning Herald clipping from 1883. Now, a lot of questions beg to be asked. How did it end up inside the fish, and how come nobody's ever seen it before? And also, how come the clipping is still intact? The massive sunfish washed up at the Sydney Harbor back in 1882. The plot thickens. In fact, the astonishing animal was still alive when a crane had to be used to winch it ashore, but the poor creature was quickly hacked to death by cruel, axe-wielding locals. They probably thought it was a monster, as the species was not well known by white people at the time. Eventually, the unfortunate sunfish ended up in London, and now it makes the headlines once more. Scientists at the museum are completely baffled. They simply cannot come up with an explanation as to who or why put the clipping inside the creature, along with straw and bits of old wooden floorboard. Was somebody being naughty or clumsy, or was this all part of a ritual? What do you think? Number 3. Plastic fork removed from Olive Ridley's nose. At this point, we all know that plastic items have a horrific impact on wildlife, especially in the oceans. In this case, it was a plastic fork. Plastic cutlery, whose use doesn't usually last more than a few hours, takes 400 years to completely degrade, in a process during which they accumulate in marine ecosystems and cause serious problems to their inhabitants. This was the case of an Olive Ridley turtle that had a fork stuck on its nose, making it almost impossible for it to breathe correctly. In situations like these, without human intervention, the animal would die a rather painful and slow death, and all because of one meal that someone had. Thankfully, the turtle was intercepted at a beach by a group of good Samaritans. They grabbed the animal, and with the help of a Swiss Army knife, they managed to carefully remove the foreign object from its nostril. It was lodged in there quite deeply. For sure, it was very painful for the turtle. The creature was in pain, and it was clearly terrified. But now, she gets to live a healthy and long life. Let this be a lesson to us all. Never leave plastic items behind when you go to the beach. You never know where they might end up. Number 2. Hard to swallow. Shark suffocates on porcupine fish. We've already seen a snake killed by a porcupine that it had swallowed, and now let's look at what happens when a ginormous shark tries to snack on a porcupine fish. Much of the same, I'm afraid. Wouldn't it be terrifying if you could choke to death on your dinner? Well, that's the sad reality for sharks. This one suffocated on its prey, and the prickly mouthful got hooked halfway into the shark's gullet, which blocked its gills, making it impossible to breathe. But if you're thinking, whoa, what a lucky porcupine fish, not so fast. The unfortunate fish didn't survive this strange encounter either. I mean, it still got attacked and chewed on by a shark many times its own size. This unique and deadly clash took place on April 21st, 2017 in the tropical waters near the Maldives. The island, located in the Indian Ocean, is famous for its paradisiac beaches and turquoise waters, and also for the heavy presence of sharks. This one in particular was a young lemon shark, maybe too young to know better. Pufferfish can inflate their bodies when they feel threatened by quickly gulping water into their stomachs. They can blow up to several times their uninflated size, and when they do so, a number of deadly spines appear all over their bodies. That's most likely what happened here. Number 1. Diver survives after being swallowed by humpback whale. This is what happened to Michael Packard, who was swallowed by a humpback whale that later spat him out. And after that, he only had a dislocated knee. He was on his third lobster dive, swimming like he has for 30 years, when suddenly he was hit by a freight train out of nowhere, and everything went black. A humpback whale can be up to 15 meters long and weigh about 36 tons, so that must have been quite the shock.
Wow.
It took him about 5 seconds to realize he was in the mouth of a whale. There's no way out of here unless she lets me go, he thought, terrified. Packard also confessed that at first he thought he had been swallowed by a shark. As you can see, all sorts of bizarre and fascinating stuff can be found inside animals. What about you? Have you ever seen a creature swallow something they weren't supposed to? Tell us about it. Also,
bro, I can't say that I've ever seen anything like what I've seen in this video, man. This stuff is crazy. You know what I mean? Imagine what these veterinarians and some of these other workers have seen. It just blows my mind, man. So thankful for them. Shout outs to y'all for everything that y'all do, man. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this video and stick around and stay tuned. The next one I'm gone. Peace.